look into the future, there's nano emulsification now. There's all these ways to get higher and higher. Like, where's the ceiling, in your opinion, in cannabis? Can you get stoneder than stoner?
I think it's going to be in understanding the terpenes and understanding the other components.
Leaf Life.
Welcome to the second half of this Leaf Life show called Tech in Cannabis. In just a moment, we'll get into what to expect in the future for tech, and we'll spin AJ's wheel to see what products Ben Bartell, who's the owner of ARIO Vape, which is a technology company specializing in cannabis vaporizing, and he's also the owner of West Coast Distributors, who distro cannabis accessories. He's this show's Greg the Guinea Pig. AJ, go ahead and spin that wheel, and let's see what he's going to be hitting next. Okay.
All right. Let's get your beautiful piece ready. We're locked and loaded there. So we've got an indica live rosin for your second shot, your second round at the bat with the real batter in the house. It's for Evergreen. I'm sorry. I said it wrong again because their Instagram handle is Forever Green, but they're actually Evergreen Group. Yes. And
it's Evergreen Herbal.
Evergreen Herbal.
And what strain we got?
Twilight Berry.
Cool. Go ahead and hit that thing up, brother.
All right.
Look, it's got some nice colors in there. It really is an elegant looking piece. And you know what I like about it? It's heavy. The base is heavy, so it won't tip over.
Yeah.
A lot of times those things are very fragile.
Also, when you hold it, it's ergonomically, you guys really put that into consideration.
Yeah.
So not only does it capture the reclaim, but it's a really good e-rig. And now that you pay me a couple $100 to mention it, where can we find it online? Just kidding.
ArioVape.com, but it's in a lot of dispensaries already, and that's kind of our. We don't have a lot of head shop customers. We're mostly dispensary customers.
Got it.
Lots of dispensaries all over the U.S. Lots in the Pacific Northwest.
So you don't have to go to a head shop, right in the dispensary.
Yeah.
And it's ARIO Vape, ARIOVape.com.
That's true.
So why in dispensaries? Because e-rigs, all the companies, the Puffcos and the Cartas and Focus V's, they all want to be in the head shops.
Well, we focused all of our efforts in the beginning, 10 years ago, on selling at dispensaries because that's where people are shopping. So you stand. What a lot of head shops don't understand is that the dispensaries, you get hundreds. Some dispensaries have hundreds of transactions a day. So a lot of those people are buying joints or flower, or whatever, but they have to buy, if they're going to use concentrates, they have to buy a battery, or they have to, they have the option to buy this. So it was just for us, it was just, go to where people are shopping. So
it's a brand new piece that you invented. Like I said, it's elegant. It's shiny. Obviously it's clean because it's brand new. Yeah. What can we expect coming down the pipe, figuratively and literally? Pardon the pun, or don't.
Well, I think it depends. So we've, a lot of us inventors in the cannabis space have solved a lot of problems, right? But I think the future looks like dosing is going to be important for people. So that's not a problem that I'm working on, but I do know people are working on dosing. So there's.
What do you mean by that?
Well, for medical purposes, there are inhalers on the market now. Those are pretty accurate, I think. I haven't.
For edibles. Dosing.
No. This is for inhalers. They have inhalers, so it's like an asthma inhaler, but they have them for cannabis. So you hit it once, you know exactly how much is coming out. With a vape cartridge, it's how powerful are your lungs. So so I think we'll see more dosing in tech. There's some guys who are working on data collection through apps and things like that, so you can track your own strains and how did you feel and that kind of thing. So that's something. For us, it's temperature control. So the next product in the future will have really precise temperature control, kind of like you used to have with an e-nail, but make it a really truly a portable e-nail. Right. And some stuff with the atomizer design.
Well, there's always an evolution.
There's always an evolution.
There's always a new iPhone. You can't stop. And that's, humans are creatives and we want to create. And with weed, it's there's that desire to get higher also that leads to this, because it all started, with people wanting to find ways to get a little more fucked up. And it seems funny to say, but it is true that pursuit of the use of the plant has led us to great technology.
Yeah.
And on that note, like with that increased use, I worry about things like e-waste. And what I'm really excited about your product is with that pass-through reclaim design, I feel like you're going to be wasting a lot less atomizers. And what I really thought was interesting was your universal hot knife tip, because like those are so fragile, they break, and then you're throwing away a whole battery. And it just goes right into a landfill because it's cannabis related. Most places won't even accept that.
And they're like $60.
And they're expensive and they're a waste. So like to have a universal connector for any 510 thread battery, that's game changing.
Well, we haven't talked about that
But like
yet.
the e-waste.
So it's an accessory that you screw on to a 510 thread count battery, and now you've got a hot knife. And that thing retails for $10.
Yeah. Well,
that's amazing.
We've sold so many square batteries, sold hundreds and hundreds of thousands of them, right? And I'm like, people buy them for the colors. So we have 11 colors. So people just buy them for look. And I thought, everybody has one in their drawer if they already own them from us. So they already have an extra sitting around. So we just did the tip because it made more sense. You're just over provisioning a coil on that. So you're just putting up too much power so the tip gets hot, right?
Yeah.
And so,
and you can see it on YouTube, y'all. If you tune in, you'll be able to see this beautiful piece. I love that you can accessorize. It actually matches my outfit right now.
Oh, how about that?
Leaf Life Podcast V2 on YouTube. And if you don't know what a hot knife is, it's a dab tool, but you press a button and it heats the tip so your oil melts into the banger.
Ceramic tip, yeah?
Yeah. And then you don't have a sticky dab tool.
Exactly.
And less waste.
And you're not struggling to like wipe it in there. But what I'm curious about is with you being the inventor of all this, how are you dealing with the e-waste and what's your like return rate and things like that? I think that's important for people to know because from what I understand, your technology is changing that game as well. Far less e-waste, right?
Yeah, with the square. So what happens with the round? We sell round body pens too, but with the round body pen, everybody's had a cartridge that's stuck on the pen, and you twist and twist and twist. Well, lots of times, if you're strong enough, you're a big guy like the bearded Lorax. You're twisting this thing. You're actually twisting the internal components and the wire. We don't put a lot of extra wire in there, right? There's not a lot of variance. And so when you twist that thing, you're going to snap the wires inside. And so the square body, it can't spin on itself because you're pushing against the four walls.
Nice.
So the first year I did an assessment, in the beginning when we got into this business, there was anywhere from a 10 to 25% failure rate with these basic batteries.
And
batteries. Yes.
Yeah,
the batteries, it was crazy.
Hated it as a cartridge company because we always got returns and they would leak like crazy.
Yeah. So much
Not just the batteries, but the carts.
Yes.
They were flimsy.
And that was back when the carts were wicked.
Totally.
Yeah. And then C-Cell kind of standardized all that.
Yeah.
And, they solved a lot of those problems. And it's really up to the producer processor to match the aperture of that because those carts are all exactly the same,
Yeah.
And so you have to match up the viscosity of the oil with the size of the aperture in the cartridge. But yeah, so we just started trying to. So when I did an assessment, the first year we had the simple squared pen, we had a 0.6% return rate
versus 25.
It was that's not the actual failure rate. I don't like to overstate it. That's what came back to the store and came back to us.
Yeah.
People are going to have pens fail at home, so we don't know there's no way for us to know the actual failure rate. But it was so much lower than anything we'd ever experienced. I was like, oh wow, okay, that worked out. I'm super psyched.
They tend to fail in the washing machine.
Yeah, that'll you can't wash them.
Put them in your pocket. So we've come a long way since the gravity bomb. You're a very imaginative guy. Like, perfect scenario, 5-10 years from now. What do you think is embedded in that brain of yours that's coming out that we haven't seen yet?
If I told you that, then
you'd have to kill me.
Yeah,
and everyone else.
But then it's kind of like the reclaim jar, right? I had to keep it top secret,
no doubt,
because all these other guys are making all brand new products that are fabulous. There's some really cool e-rigs in the market that have all sorts of cool features that we didn't put in this because I just wanted this to be affordable, but they didn't do a reclaim jar. It's like, did they smoke pot? I don't understand. Are they not dabbers and they're creating these things? I'm sure they are.
Or failure. There's a certain amount of like light bulbs being made to fail. I think that, and I'm not going to say any specific company, but I think they're okay when if you get really used to an e-rig, eventually it fails, and then you're like, I got to go buy another.
Your e-rig's going to look brand new forever. Yeah. I mean, is there not going to be any reclaimed residue left behind?
So just like a regular dab rig, you'll get some build up inside the bubbler, but it's pretty shocking how efficient it is. It's very surprising, and you're expecting all this reclaim to build up someplace, but it eventually will build up in the reclaim jar, and it seems like the more reclaim you have in the reclaim jar, the faster it builds up. Like it sort of sticks on itself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting.
But it's pretty incredible. You're getting through, depending on what you're smoking and the temperature you're at, if you're not being efficient with it, because you want to change the power to match the consistency. Because you want to vaporize as much as possible, right?
I think what sets a lot of your designs apart from the industry and what we have out there is that you're actually coming to the market with consciousness and like literally being conscious about how you're creating it, how much waste is being created, and not only for the cannabis itself, but for the environment as a whole, which is huge because all of the concentrate industry is unfortunately creating a very big impact on the environment because of these batteries.
Especially with disposables.
Yes, especially. So thank you so much, my friend, for being a friend of the earth in that way.
There's a lot of waste in the industry. But look into the future, there's nano-emulsification now. There's all these ways to get higher and higher. Like where's the ceiling in your opinion in cannabis? Can you get stoneder than stoneder?
I think it's going to be in understanding the terpenes and understanding the other components. So I had dinner with a guy who, I can't remember his name of his company, but he's also a scientist. He's a PhD researcher. You guys have probably had him on the show. He's amazing. But he owns a grow, a producer processor, and he has a PhD. Oh, he's amazing. So what we were talking about is not necessarily about terpenes, but the volatile organic compounds that are in there, and that's what you're smelling.
Yeah, terpenes are like small, and there will be people who might be offended at this, but it's a very small part of the story, and it's the easy part of the story. But terpenes, if you've had the chance to smell like 20 or 30 of them, they don't smell like weed. Raw, linalool doesn't smell like purple haze. It smells like fucking lavender. And terpenes are absolutely not the whole story when it comes to the aromatic compounds or the effects. And I noticed that many years ago when terpene testing first started happening, because some of the dankest, heaviest weed would have almost no terps in it. And it's like, well, this weed still smells great. So it's not the terpenes alone. And there's a lot of misinformation about that, but that's a different show. Was it Dewey Cannabis that you were talking to?
I can't remember.
That's okay. I just wrote in our Harvest issue about Dewey Cannabis. They're a Washington company, and they test for 75 different terpenes and then aromatic compounds. And recently a compound was discovered called MBT that is present in skunk spray, like the animal skunks, as well as in skunk strains. I've talked about this on the show before. So there's so much else going on. And I think using technology to dial that in and deliver consistent experiences for people is part of the future. But for us, I'm looking forward to more strains, more technology in that area that makes new oils for us to try through the
ARIO Vape, baby.
There we go.
So Ben, now it's time for you to play Could It Be Possible?
Fasten your food hole.
The table is ready.
It's time for a little gastronomic guesswork.
Are you gonna eat that?
Are you gonna eat that?
Sabrina, don't just stare at it. Eat it.
This is Could It Be Fucking Possible? Wow.
Doobie said a cuss word. Bad Doobie. So, Ben, are the following actual menu items or just wishful thoughts of our saliva-soaked dreams? Could it be possible? Yes or no? Here we go. Number one. You ready? My gentleman, he's drooling. He's got some Evergreen Herbal in his system. He's feeling good.
Yeah, got the munchies.
Hell yeah. Got some pay for play. Product placement for free. Just kidding. All right, brother.
Awkward.
Yes. I'm like, what?
Back to
Go buy the ARIO Vape now. ARIOVape.com.
Right. We're just lucky he brought it, honestly. We didn't expect him to bring it, but a true OG travels with their piece.
Number one. It makes sense that this crazy concoction would come from a restaurant in Amsterdam. The Double Dutch Herring Donut consists of smoked fish covered in soft cream cheese and breaded before being dropped into a fryer to dial in the flavors with crispiness. These insides are then placed in the middle of a glazed donut and served warm with a topping of hollandaise, capers, and minced horseradish sauce. Could it be possible?
No, please tell me that's not a thing.
He's right, it's not.
Thank goodness.
It sounded awful.
Don't be ridiculous. Of course it's not. All right. And number 2. At over 1,100 calories in one delicious mound of food, this earthquake of flavor will have your taste buds going off the Richter. I'm talking about the seismic pizza from Little Caesars, South Africa, that includes 8 different cheeses over spicy pizza sauce and topped with chunks of fried chicken hearts, green olives, caramelized red onions, marinated artichoke hearts, and black pepper goat cheese. The perfect meal for someone who can't decide what to have for dinner. Could it be possible?
I don't think at 1,100 calories. I don't think that's enough for all those ingredients.
It sounds amazing.
It actually sounds really good.
Right,
No, I'm going to say it's not possible.
He's right.
It was the calories.
There was a tell.
Intelligent.
There was a tell.
This guy.
One lava cake, one of those little lava cakes, is like 1,100 calories.
Wow.
That's what I was thinking. As you said volcano, I was like, oh, it's a lava cake. Yes, I'm going to ace this. And then it was a pizza.
Let's go out for lava cakes later.
I know, right?
Wes, I can't stump the dude. He's too smart.
He's an inventor.
And number 3. This one is the ultimate peanut butter and jelly delight. Between 2 slices of white Wonder Bread, the crunchy peanut butter is extra oily and smothered with Mom's homemade blackberry jam. Throw in some ground up Cap'n Crunch cereal and crumbled chocolate covered pretzels topped with a sprinkle of keef infused brown sugar for that extra flavor pop. Could it be possible?
Please.
It should be possible.
Oh, yeah.
That should happen.
That's right.
Stoner delight, brah.
Yes. This was a concoction created by Kelsey Lorax when sleepwalking in the middle of the night, having been accidentally thwarted from bed by the bearded Lorax, accidentally during one of his night sweats induced by the stresses that come with the backbending flugel moles and boon-wazzling hatter rats that invade his beloved front yard and stir his imaginative, unsettling dreams. Great, brother. 3 for 3 on that one.
True story?
True story.
Oh my goodness,
Especially the flugel mole.
She is a Lorax, but she's your partner, brah.
I'm very lucky. Love you, Kelsey.
Hey, Ben, where can we find you on social media and Ario Vapes?
For me personally, I don't have any social media.
Okay.
Oh.
I have like a 15-year-old Facebook page, but I guess I have MySpace.
My God.
I'm that old.
Throwback.
No, but Ario Vape, you can find us on X or on Instagram at ArioVape.com.
.com.
Hey, brother, thank you
for
coming on the Leaf Life podcast,
thanks, guys.
man. Great show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Don't make it weird, bro.
My arms aren't long enough to make it weird.
Hey, Wes, next week, wellness retreats.
That sounds fun. I'm ready for a spa day.
Ooh.
Download this and all Leaf Life episodes at leafmagazines.com. And please subscribe on YouTube at Leaf Life Podcast V2. Now get ready for another episode of Stony Baloney, which is also available at leafmagazines.com. And please be kind to animals.
Your hosts for Leaf Life are Mike Ricker and Wes Abney. Leaf Life is produced by Mike Daly. Some of the music heard is provided by purple-planet.com. Every bit of cannabis you use is female, so please respect the ladies. Leaf Life is brought to you by Leaf Nation, featuring Alaska Leaf, Oregon Leaf, Northwest Leaf, Maryland Leaf, Utah Leaf, Northeast Leaf, and California Leaf. On the shelf now in your local retailer. Now, please stay tuned for this week's edition of Stony Baloney by Mike Ricker.
Stony Baloney by Mike Ricker.
Joint effort. Friendship. It's potentially the most imperative virtue in life. Because without some form of reflective exchange with another living animal, it's nearly impossible to apply meaning to our existence. In fact, since our great-grandfather times 100, Erg the nomad wandered the plains foraging for mushrooms and crunchy insects wiggling under woolly mammoth dung, knowing that another bone-wielding human had your hairy back has always been what keeps us going. Be it a person or a pet, we need to feel as if there's another organism with eyes that finds our existence worthwhile. And one true measure of a real friend is a person who makes the attempt to reciprocate the association, which often determines the varying levels of friendship. First, you have your pretend friends. These are the ones who are around because you have something to offer. It isn't based on leveling up as much as it is on climbing the social ladder or making their lives better by what you can provide to them. There are the remote friends. These are the pals you communicate with once a year or so, just to reestablish that you still have a connection that is important, albeit superseded by current circumstances that require more immediate attention. And then there's your tribe. These are the peeps on speed dial with whom you counsel for social activities and relationship opinions. They are in your periphery, sharing meals and outings on grassy plots on sunny days, deeply involved in the events of your development, helping to navigate the course of your journey. They are responsible and dependable, having stood the test of time, supportive and aware of some deep secrets. But there is another important friendship that belongs in the upper echelon. This is the friend that generously reciprocates the bounty of green fluffiness out of the kindness of their supernova heart. They comprehend the commonality that is imperatively based upon positive intentions. Even if for only one sesh, this friend is true and should be revered. They are welcome into your space, and judgment should never be passed. Interaction in life is critical. And a friend with weed is a friend indeed.
Stony baloney.
These products have intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming.
Marijuana can impair concentration, coordination, and judgment.
Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence of this drug.
There may be health risks associated with consumption of these products.
For use by adults 21 and older.
Keep out of the reach of children.